You know the popular jingle for the elf on the shelf? How it's watching you? This, combined with its low prices, has been quite effective indeed. Surprisingly so. Nearly every household in America has one of these things, and they've even started to sell overseas. Some people say technology must be in them. Others have taken them apart and found only a doll. Nobody ever notices that the string used to bind the limbs to the doll is made up of hair. Nobody ever thinks to guess that Santa would know magic, especially a reverse version of voodoo on himself. And nobody ever suspects the elf on the shelf. Merry Christmas. I find it sitting between two framed pictures on the fireplace mantel. Its tiny body is positioned so that it looks relaxed, just lounging about minding its own business. The red and green striped leggings catch my eye, and its painted-on face draws me in. "Mom," I call, forcing a tone of annoyance. "Don't you think I'm a little too old for this elf-on-the-shelf nonsense?" "Huh? What elf?" She waltzes in with a look portraying genuine confusion. I point over to the shelf and she follows my gesture, still casting an expression of doubt. "I don't have time for this, Eric." "Right there!" But when I turn, the elf is gone. I just thought, oh, never mind. With chores and cleaning to catch up on, it doesn't take long for me to forget all about the grinning figurine. Mom and I are expecting guests for the holidays, so the house needs to be spotless. Once the living room is taken care of, I head to the kitchen to wash the dishes. That's when my little friend returns. I see his little elf shoes poking out of the dish rack with his arms wrapped securely around a steak knife. "Very funny, Mom." After pulling the little guy loose, I shove him into a junk drawer beside the sink and carry on cleaning. Just a little bit longer to go. Our guests arrive on schedule and we take our places at the table for dinner. They each take turns telling me how big I've gotten since last Christmas. My Aunt Pamela tells me Santa will bring me lots of toys if I've been a good boy, and I just don't have the heart to tell her. I know he doesn't exist. The adults drink their holiday nog as I get into bed and drift off to sleep. It's the loud thump from downstairs that wakes me. What the? I'm not sure why my mind goes there, but just for a second, I consider the impossible. Santa? I rush through the darkness and head down the stairs to find the Christmas tree ripped to shreds and scattered about the living room. In its place are my aunt, uncle, and their two little boys hanging by their necks with Christmas lights. The twinkling specks of green and red illuminate the body on the floor beneath them. My mother is lying in a pool of blood with the steak knife protruding from her open neck wound. A small fit of childish giggling breaks the silence and I turn to see the elf seated back on the shelf. His permanent smile is still painted on, but his eyes are furrowed, staring directly at me. "Merry Christmas, Eric." The elf on the shelf is always watching. It comes every December and watches me and my parents. Mom and Dad both know that it's always observing. They read me the story from the book that it came with, about how it's a spy for Santa, how I can't touch it, or else it'll lose its magic and won't be able to tell Santa if I've been a good or bad girl this year. They also told me it moves from place to place every night, and I expected it to. I waited for it to leave my room the first night, but it never did. Since last year, it's just been setting up shop in here, sitting on the edge of my bookshelf with that insipid fake smile on its face. I don't know why. Mom and Dad thinks that it just likes me, but I don't think so. I think that it's judging me. It stares down at me and breathes. I can't sleep at night because its eyes shine and I can see them if I squint hard enough. Those eyes. I hate them. I feel them on me as I change clothes. The Personal Journal of Jeffrey Tuttle, age 10. Private. Keep out. December 3rd, 1980. Things I want for Christmas. Rubik's Cube, beanbag chair, fire extinguisher, How to Quit Smoking Through Hypnosis by Dr. F. Lee Rogers, Millennium Falcon, walkie-talkie, padlock for Pop's whiskey cabinet. December 6th, 1980. Pop's got a new job. He works at the counter of a tow yard. People get mad they have to pay because their cars got towed, so they yell at him all day. It makes me happy. He works late. That makes me happy too. Maybe he will work late so he won't come home until I am in bed. December 10th, 1980. Christmas is soon. Mom and I put up the tree and the decorations. I am happy Dad has been working so late. December 13th, 1980. Christmas is less than 2 weeks away. I am excited. There's a new decoration. Its name is Elf on the Shelf. I don't like it. It has a huge mouth, long arms, and red eyes. Mom says it goes in the living room where it can see me. There is lots of stuff in the living room for it to sit on. December 15th, 1980. I don't like Elf on the Shelf. He stares at me no matter where I am in the living room, and I have bad dreams. I asked Mom to throw him away, but Mom says he has to watch me and report to Santa if I am bad. But I don't believe in Santa since last year. Santa sucks. December 18th, 1980. One more week until Christmas. Mom says Elf on the Shelf can go up in the attic after that. She keeps moving it around the living room. Today, I was running between all the stacks of newspapers and I almost bumped into it on the couch. It was right in my face. I screamed. Mom laughed. I hope Santa starts another fire and burns him up. December 20th, 1980. My wrists hurt, so I won't be writing much. Pops made me clean all the carpets with a lint roller. It took all night. I don't know how I got caught either. I needed an old newspaper for history in school, so I took one from the piles in the living room. There are thousands there, so I thought he wouldn't notice. I even put it back right where I got it before he came home from work. But he knew. How did he know? December 22nd, 1980. I got hurt today. I bled a little. At dinner, I pushed my peas and carrots into my lap. I thought Pops didn't see. He was too busy watching Barney Miller. But later on, he yanked me out of bed and told me he knew. I think the Elf on the Shelf told him. December 23rd, 1980. Mom says I get one present under $5. I want a new journal. This one is only half filled, but it has blood on it. But then Pops would know I keep a journal. I don't know if he'd laugh at me and call it my diary or read it and explode or what, but I don't want him to know I have it. I don't want the Elf on the Shelf to see me writing and tell him I have it. I'm glad Christmas is almost over. December 4th, 2003. Hello, old friend. I was alphabetizing the junk in my attic when I found you. Before I file you under J, I decided to take a stroll down memory lane. I really hated my dad, and only you knew it, huh? Well, you'll be glad to know he's dead now. The things he did have shaped the way I am raising Oliver. Things are all right. Honestly, the kid leaves a lot to be desired, but the whole goal is to do better than your own parents. To pick the ball up where Pops left it and move it further towards the goal line. And on that score, I'm doing quite well. Unlike my hoarder father, I keep our house neat and clean, and make sure Oliver does the same. I still smoke and drink, but I don't use it like my father did. It's just a way to make all the cleaning much more bearable. Nothing like a few shots every hour to make scrubbing the baseboards interesting. It's definitely not how it was with Pops. When the people from Child Protective Services show up, now it's always for some big misunderstanding. Not like it was with Pops, where they would show up because a teacher had reported the bruises I always seemed to bring to school. Yep, I'm definitely moving that ball closer to the end zone than Pops ever did. Not like I'll ever score a touchdown. I don't even know what the metaphorical equivalent of that would be. I just want my kid to be smarter than me, to make better decisions than I did. Maybe I'll keep you posted. December 8th, 2003. Had another blast from the past today. Found the elf on the shelf in a dusty old trunk of Christmas decorations in Pop's basement. Remember that horrible thing? It was supposed to report to Santa, Mom said, but I hadn't believed in Santa since I was 9, when Santa passed out under the tree and his lit cigarette burnt up all my presents. I asked for more, but Pop said the elf labor union forbids making toys after Christmas. Santa sucks. The first thing I did was unscrew it to see if there was some sort of recording device inside. Nope, just plastic. No room to put a camera in there or anything. At least, not one of those 1980s cameras. I guess I always just imagined it. I tossed it on the living room bookcase. Oliver has been getting sloppy in his second hour of daily cleaning, and I'm usually working too late to catch him and make him do it over. Maybe this will be just the thing to keep him motivated. December 10th, 2003. Came home, chugged a few shots of Evan Williams and poured some on the rocks. Settled into my usual chair to watch my UFO shows. I realized something about the elf on the shelf. I always thought it was my imagination that made its features seem so scary. Nope, it's actually really freaky. It's got a huge red mouth that looks more like it's about to open up and bite you than it does a smile. Its arms are really long, which gives it a sort of monster-like look. Like that made-up boogeyman those girls stabbed that other girl over. And the eyes. Good God, who gives an elf doll red eyes? Those parts make me think that there are other things wrong with it, which certainly aren't. Like how it seemed to have its head turned right at me, staring me down from the bookcase. I downed a few glasses, but it was still pretty creepy. So I took it and shoved it face first into the Christmas tree. December 12th, 2003. It's happening again. I came home from a double shift to find the elf doll sitting upright on the floor underneath the Christmas tree. I told Oliver he had to be more responsible about picking up toys off the floor every hour on the hour. To make sure he got the point, I sent him to bed without dinner. Then I went to get a drink. I opened the liquor cabinet, and there he was. The elf was sitting right in front of the open Evan Williams bottle, staring at me with those freaky eyes. I checked the tree. Nope, no elf. Had I imagined the whole thing? I couldn't have. My son's full plate of food was still sitting next to his unoccupied place at the table. What the hell? I went out and bought a lock for the liquor cabinet. Felt kind of silly, as nobody else in the house even likes Evan Williams, which is all I keep in there. And over what? An elf I thought I stuffed under the tree, but I must have actually put in the cabinet? But locking up the liquor is something I needed to do eventually, to make sure Oliver doesn't get the notion to start trying liquor. The longer I can keep him from tasting the sauce, the more yards my family's team gains. I'm just trying to make him smarter at life than Pops made me, to keep moving that ball down the field. December 13th, 2003. Oliver tracked dirt into the house again. When he does this, I make him sweep it up, then clean the floors with the lint roller. Not like my dad used to do to me. That was carpet. These floors are wooden, so using the lint roller is actually smart because it gets them extra clean. When I opened the cupboard with the lint rollers, that damn elf was staring right at me. Thing is, I hadn't been in that closet since the last time Oliver dirtied up the floors, which was months ago. How did it know? I took the damn thing out to the backyard and tossed it in the trash. December 15th, 2003. I unlocked the liquor cabinet and it was in there, staring at me with those damn evil eyes. I took it out, placed it on the table, and hit it with a hammer until it was in about 100 pieces. Then I took the pieces outside and burnt them. The whole thing must have startled Oliver because he started crying, so I made him organize the tool shed. December 17th, 2003. It's back, sitting right there in the liquor cabinet. I give up. December 22nd, 2003. Oliver forgot to salt our driveway today. I slipped and damn near burst a hemorrhoid falling on my keister. Kid's 10 years old, but he's pretty dumb. I may not have raised a boy that's smarter than me, but I sure seem to have an elf that is. No matter what I'm about to do, it knows. I come home from a double shift, it's in the liquor cabinet. Oliver forgets to rinse out the tub after a shower, so I make him clean the grout with a toothbrush, and it's there in my cleaning bucket. I'll even try to fool it. I'll come home from a double shift and go get the lint roller. It's not there. It's in the liquor cabinet. It knows what I'm about to do. I can't even open the liquor cabinet without my stomach tying in knots because I know it's going to be in there. Unless, of course, I'm trying to fake it out and not really planning on drinking because I have to go to work, in which case, it's never, ever there. December 25th, 2003. I've had enough. I stopped opening the pantry with the cleaning supplies. The place is getting messy, but I don't care. Forget about moving the ball down the field. I just can't take the sight of that damn elf. I woke up the other day and he was on my chest, staring straight into my eyes. And then, it laughed. 25 years and I never heard the damn thing laugh. How did it learn to laugh? I'm pretty sure it's going to kill me. I don't even drink anymore. I know he'll be waiting there in the cabinet. I drink a lot of coffee and smoke a lot. For some reason, it never seems to care about that. November 29th, 2015. Found this journal in with the Christmas decorations, right next to that damned elf. Since I'm a completionist, I might as well fill out the last few pages. The elf stopped showing up after that Christmas. Turns out it never did kill me. I guess he knew God would take care of that. Got back from the doctor today. There's a huge mass in my lung. 12 years completely sober, and this is the reward I get. Doctor says I got maybe a few months left, so I'm cleaning out my attic. Gonna show Oliver when he gets back from his trip. He's setting up a clean water reservoir in Africa. See if he wants any of this garbage. I guess I'd better warn him about the elf, too. December 1st, 2015. Well, that was a kick in the head. I was having one of my bad days when Oliver came over earlier. I could barely get out of bed. Death sucks, sure. But what they don't tell you is that before you die, you get sick and stay that way. You don't live out your last days in peace, but in agony. For me, the agony is definitely settling in to stay. In between coughing spells, I pulled out various boxes of Christmas decorations to show Oliver. If he wanted the box, we marked it and put it aside. If not, we put it in a pile to give to Goodwill. After a few boxes, I came to the elf on a shelf. Oliver's eyes grew wide. I didn't expect him to remember it, but I was obviously wrong. Maybe in Africa you learned something about curses. I don't know, I began. But this thing's cursed, and I'm scared it's going to take you too. Wait, what? It's been after me for decades. The worst was when you were little. No matter what I did, it would come back and be there, waiting to pop out wherever I went. I thought it was going to kill me. At this, Oliver let out a long hiccuping sound. I'm not into men getting emotional, but This was a special case with me dying and all, so I waited for it to pass. But instead of stopping, it grew, and it wasn't crying, it was a laugh. Soon, Oliver was doubled over, guffawing louder than I'd ever heard him before. "You think it's funny, your old man croaking?" I spat. Oliver took a second to compose himself. Dad, I really thought you knew." "Knew?" It was me. I kept hiding this dumb doll." My jaw dropped. There was no way. It would be locked in my liquor cabinet." "You were drunk. I copied your key one time when you were sleeping off about a fifth of that cheap whiskey." No, but I threw it away, and it came back. I'm surprised my heart didn't just give out there. I smashed the damn thing into bits and burnt it." "I got a new one on eBay." "It was on eBay?" "It wasn't the exact same one. It looked the same, but the new one I got was more modern. I think it had a chip in it that made it laugh." "Why?" "No offense, you were an awful dad. The drinking, the obsessive-compulsive cleanliness. I saw how afraid you were of this thing, and I used it to trick you so you would stop all of that." My vision swam. My son went on about how hilarious this was, and how it would probably make a great tale for one of those scary stories places they have on the internet. But I couldn't register any of it. My entire field of consciousness was filled with one thing. One single word. Touchdown. I finally gave in. I got one of those stupid Elf on the Shelf dolls. I've never been one of those moms who did this kind of stuff, especially not something as small as the Elf on the Shelf. Seemed like a hassle for a few quick laughs and a mess I'd have to clean up later. But I tell you, I got really tired of hearing those perfect moms in the PTA talk about their Pinterest-worthy Elf on the Shelf ideas. So cute, so clever, so original. How hard could it be? I figured I'd get one and just switch it up every now and then, at least to shut my mother-in-law up for a couple of weeks. So I did. I actually tried for a few days, and I was pretty proud of myself too. For a whole week I set that little elf up in different mischievous places, and every night, oh look, the elf poured over the sugar and left little footprints. Hey mommy, look! Elfie is pooping out Hershey Kisses on the cookies. How funny! Yeah, I was real proud of myself. Perhaps I got a little too smug for my lazy self because, as per usual, after a week I got tired of all that extra work I had to do for that little guy. Was I ashamed I gave up after a week? A little, but not enough to keep me from shoving him in an extra box in the attic. I guess that's when it started happening. Somehow, he got out of that box. I started seeing the elf on the shelf everywhere, except this time, I wasn't the one placing him. It started out tame. The elf on the shelf was found right by the unplugged TV cord everyone sweared they didn't touch. The elf on the shelf cut out a little chunk of my kindergartner's hair. I was starting to get annoyed, and that's when things took a turn for the worst. Elf on the Shelf was found with a kitchen knife and my middle schooler's dead gerbil. Elf on the Shelf was found by the oven where my casserole had mysteriously been placed overnight, set on 500 degrees while we slept and the smoke poured out. This morning, I poured my husband coffee as usual. I went to go wake him up, and upon my return, I found that damn elf on the shelf pouring bleach into the coffee mug. I don't know what to do anymore. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe the little footsteps I keep hearing are just my mind playing tricks on me. Alex had recently turned 16. His birthday being close to Christmas was fantastic for him. It meant, just as he was done getting used to his birthday presents, Christmas ones would pop up. Every year for about 10 years or so, Alex's parents would put up that stupid elf on the shelf thing, a bunch of them all around the house. One sitting on the fireplace mantel, one per windowsill, etc. Alex never complained about them, initially for fear of getting less or no presents, since it would be obvious he was being naughty and wanted to hide it, and not because of how damn creepy those things are. And eventually because it's tradition. Well, this year, Alex got quite a surprise. Well, 3, but not at the same time. The first surprise was a top-of-the-line gaming laptop, complete with gaming gear. Alex quickly used it for torrented games and to hack various servers out of boredom. The second surprise was learning that his parents thought all along that he was the one putting those creepy elves everywhere. The third surprise is what prompted the second one, when he was naughty enough to activate them, and they armed themselves. Don't be naughty. Santa is watching.